Hey guys, this is Nick from the One Guitarist channel. Today I want to go through the top 5 things that I see posted in all the guitar boards. But first, let's go inside. It's getting a little cold out here in Detroit. That's better. Today I want to go through the top 5 things that I see in guitar forums on Facebook all the time. If you're somebody who's just started playing or you have a lot of questions that you see repeated in forums over and over again, stay tuned. I got the best answers for you in a short amount of time. Number 1, how do I hold my hand for a chord? There are a lot of different ways to do it. I would recommend looking at a few pictures of those chords on Facebook. Google some photos. You'll see how different people hold their hands. Try your hand in a lot of different ways. Drop your thumb, put your thumb up. Cock your hand to the side so they're a little slanted forward. Cock your fingers so they're straight down coming at the neck. Cock your fingers so they're kind of a little bit angled. If you have to put several fingers on the string at the same time, start off with just 1 finger, and then 2 fingers, and then add the 3rd finger. You'll find out what works for you. Keep doing it over and over again, and keep practicing putting your hand on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off. The more you do that, the more you'll find the perfect position for you. Number 2, how to hold your pick. There are a lot of different ways to hold your pick. I would recommend holding your pick and think of it like a pencil or a pen. You're not going to get a lot of control and a lot of speed if you hold it too far away from the end. Pretty close to the tip and choking off end of it, and not too much of a, keep your hand pretty loose, just like you would with your writing or drawing. You don't want it too flimsy, you don't want it too stiff. And you'll notice sometimes you'll actually stiffen it up for certain things, lighten up for a few other things. Basically, you want your pick pretty close to the strings and your hand pretty close to the strings to make sure that you have a lot of control over it to use the minimum amount of movement that you need to. And again, practice that over and over again. You'll find out what works for you. Number 3, how do I get better at composing my own music and writing chords? Well, think of music like a language. You can't really speak much and say much if you don't learn much of the language. The more songs you will learn, I would recommend you learning a lot of songs, the more progressions that you'll hear, like this chord sounds good with that one, and that chord sounds good with this one. And if I put those 3 together, then that'll sound good. The more you learn other songs, the more you'll figure out what you like to hear, and the more you'll figure out how to put things together yourself. Number 4, going back onto the same thing, how do I solo better? What chords or what scales do I need to learn so I can solo good? Well, just the basics right now. You just want to learn minor scale, natural minor, major scale. That's pretty much it. The main thing is just kind of like the songs, learn lots of solos. Go to Ultimate Guitar, practice that, practice the tablature, and practice many, many, many solos. The more solos that you learn, kind of like the language we were talking about, the more that you'll have a bigger repertoire of riffs and different turnarounds and different little phrases in your head. And then you start being able to put things together in your own solos. Just kind of like a language, kind of like learn phrases, learn sentences, and you kind of like put your own things together after you know the way other people say things or the way other people play things. Last one, number 5, there are a lot of different ways that you can mute a string when you're not playing it. You can use your picking hand and use your fret hand. Use them both in 2 different ways. You typically need them a lot more if you're playing with a lot of gain or a lot of distortion on a guitar, because that rings out a lot more and you really, really notice it if you're not muting it pretty good. Basically, if you're playing right-handed, fleshy part, like the karate chop part of your right hand, is gonna lay on top of the strings, like from the thicker ones all the way down, and the thinner strings will be covered by your fingers that aren't actually fretting something. So between both those hands together, you got a lot more control over your sound. You can play more staccato, and you can actually do those like chugga 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 crunches for a lot of rock and roll. So those are the 5 main things that I've been seeing on guitar forums on Facebook lately. If you have any questions or you'd like me to cover something, please leave a comment below and I'll be sure to get that as soon as I can in an upcoming video. If you're not already a subscriber, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more of these videos in the future. Thanks again, I'll see you in the next video.